So let me share two examples. One, you mentioned grid management, dynamic line ratings. I want to highlight a company that Microsoft invested in through the Climate Innovation Fund called Line Vision. Line Vision uses an AI-enabled technology to do dynamic line ratings, and what they've been able to show upon deployment in the UK is they were able to bring on 60% more clean energy capacity on an existing transmission line, which equates to around 600 megawatts of offshore wind power. That's the potential / the reality of what can happen when we actually start to innovate and apply smart technologies and digital technologies to existing transmission. Of course, we need more transmission, but it's a great way in the near term to think about how to utilize and grow more capacity or expand capacity in existing transmission. The second example, you mentioned batteries. Yeah. Love the example around batteries. Let me put that into context for those who are not familiar with what the potential of AI is already today in battery technology. Earlier this year, Microsoft partnered with the Pacific Northwest National Laboratory to look at 32 million material candidates for different battery technologies. They were able to narrow it down to 18 material candidates in roughly 80 hours. This process of an advanced rapid development of the scientific method you'd normally take months, years, if not longer. And to be able to do that in the course of 1-2 weeks, in the case of IEA, 80 hours is probably 1 week's worth of work for your team. It's pretty incredible and remarkable what we can see happen in this space. The third area I want to highlight is the opportunity around optimizing data centers. As of course, it's not just about what the potential of AI is for accelerating the transition, it's also about the responsibility that companies have. I appreciated your opening and highlighting the range of drivers on the electricity demands in the sector across the, air conditioning, transportation, and data centers. I'd love it to be able to be an example of how we do this well and how we actually accelerate the transition with the investments we make. So 3 areas. One is for a company like Microsoft, we're very much focused on reducing the energy needed to power AI. Everything from things that my colleague talked about on model efficiency, efficiency of code, reducing peak power. We're a founding member in the Green Software Foundation looking at how we develop and code the AI models, and even looking at the advancements that have happened with small language models. The model you shared earlier today with your WEO GPT, that's an example of some of these small models versus large models. This is the kind of innovation that's happening, and it's the kind of new developments you're seeing at the beginning of this era of AI. The second thing that companies should be thinking about that we ourselves are doing, in addition to reducing the energy needs, is how do you accelerate markets for low carbon materials? So much of where the demand is and the emissions footprint of companies is actually in our supply chain and our value chain. So what can we do to accelerate the market for low carbon materials like low carbon steel, low carbon concrete? We're an investor in a company in Sweden called Stegra. They are hoping to produce a steel that is 95% lower carbon than traditional steel. And then how do we build with that in data centers and other facilities around the world? It's a great example of how we actually take responsibility for our footprint and lower the carbon footprint of the embodied carbon in our growth of data centers, and other markets can follow suit. And the last area is the importance of growing carbon-free energy resources as part of what companies can do in this new era. Microsoft, like many others around the table, are leaders in corporate power purchase agreements for carbon-free power, recently acquiring around 34 gigawatts of carbon-free power in over 24 countries and growing. This type of commitment, I think, is really important. So to close, we need urgent action. The conversation today is about not just the action we need to make, but the actions we're taking today. And I look forward to hearing from others and the actions they're taking around the room. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.